So the idea is that religion is great, okay? I'm a big supporter of religion, but organized religion is problematic because organized religion serves the interests of the priests who control the religion, okay? And that's why there are these differences in these religions, in Buddhism, in Judaism, in Islam, in Christianity, because the people in charge need to differentiate the religion in order to exploit you, okay? In order to justify their existence. But at the end of the day, we're all connected to the divine, and all that matters is that connection. Okay, so all these differences is something that is artificially created to fool us. All right, all day I think about it, then at night I say it. Where did I come from and what am I supposed to be doing, okay? I have no idea. My soul is from elsewhere, I'm sure of that, and I intend to end up there. Okay? I don't remember where I came from, but I know that I must have come from somewhere, okay? This drunkenness began in some other realm, some other tavern. When I get back around to that place, I'll be completely sober. Meanwhile, I'm like a bird from another continent sitting in its aviary. The day is coming when I fly off, but who is it now in my ear who hears my voice? Who says words within my mouth? Who looks out with my eyes? What is a soul? I cannot stop asking. If I could taste one sip for an answer, I could break out of this prison for drunks. I didn't come here of my own accord. I can't leave that way. Whoever brought me here will have to take me home, okay? This is beautiful, and it's also a rewriting of Plato's allegory of the cave, right? This is a prison for drunks. Here, we're all drunk. We're all blind from our true reality. This is a prison. When we return to the monad, to our master, then we'll see the truth for ourselves, okay? All right, so here's another poor prophet, Friedrich Nietzsche, okay? Friedrich Nietzsche is one of the three great German philosophers of the past 500 years. Immanuel Kant, Friedrich Hegel, and Friedrich Nietzsche. And Friedrich Nietzsche wrote Thus Spoke Zarathustra. And he wrote it in a very interesting way. He likes to take these long walks. He can walk for like hours and hours in the mountains. And then now and then he feels as though he's being seized, okay? A force has seized him and compels him to speak. And he believes this person is Zarathustra, okay? So he wrote a book, and it's just a recollection of all the moments when he was seized by Zarathustra and forced to speak his words, all right? And when we actually read what Nietzsche writes, you will see that it's actually pretty similar to what Zarathustra himself promoted during his time. Of course, Nietzsche is promoting it in a more modern contemporary lens, okay? So if Zarathustra were to come back, he would basically be Nietzsche, okay? So in many ways, Nietzsche and Rumi are reincarnations of Zarathustra. They're all trying to speak a divine truth to humanity. All right, so this is the prologue, the first page of Thus Spake Zarathustra, okay? And what you will notice, okay, look for this. What you will notice is that this is exactly like the allegory of the cave, okay? All right. When Zarathustra was 30 years old, he left his home and the lake of his home and went into the mountains. There he enjoyed his spirit in his solitude and for 10 years did not wear of it. But at last his heart changed, and rising one morning with a rosy dawn, he went before the sun and spake thus unto it. Thou great star, what would thy happiness if thou had not those for whom thou shinest? For 10 years hast thou climbed hither unto my cave. Thou would have weather of thy light and of the journey, had it not been for me, mine eagle and my serpent. But we awaited thee every morning, took from thee thine overflow, and blessed thee for it. Lo, I am weary of my wisdom, like the bee that hath gathered too much honey. I need hands outstretched to take it. I would fain bestow and distribute until the wise have once more become joyous in the folly, and the poor happy in their riches. Therefore must I descend into the deep, as thou dost in the evening, when thou go behind the sea, and give light also to the nether world, thou exuberant star. Like thee must I go down, as men say, to whom I shall descend. Okay? So Zarathustra has hid himself in the cave. And inside the cave, in solitude, he has discovered Asha. He has discovered the secrets of the universe, and he's discovered that this is not enough. I must now go shine the light on everyone. Otherwise, I can never achieve Asha fully. Okay? So it's exactly like the allegory of the cave, where the prisoner, he escapes into the light, and he's happy until he realizes that you can't be happy alone. You have to share this happiness with everyone else, okay? So it's exactly like the allegory of the cave. All right, let's continue. Though implantest thy highest aim to the heart of those passions, then became thy virtues and joys. And though thou wert of the race of the hot-tempered, or the voluptuous, or the fanatical, or the vindictive, all thy passions in the end become virtues, and all thy devils angels. Once had those wild dogs in thy cellar, but they change at last into birds and charming songstresses. Out of thy poisons breed thou balsam for thyself, thy cow affliction milk so. Thou drinketh thou the sweet milk of her udder. And nothing evil grow in thee any longer, unless it be the evil that grow out of the conflict of thy virtues. My brother, if thou be fortunate, then wilt thou have one virtue and no more. Thus goes thou easier over the bridge. Illustrious is to have many virtues, but a hard lot. And many a one have gone into the wilderness and killed himself, because he was aware of being the battle and battlefield of virtues. Okay, the question then is, if our master is wisdom, why do we live in a world of hate, of evil, of sin? And the answer is, because virtue must come from vice. Good can only come from evil. Okay? To live in good forever is to live in ignorance. Okay? We are born in the drush so that we may discover Asha. From our struggles, we will discover what truly good is. And that's a gift that God has given us. To grow, to live in a time of evil so that we ourselves may create good for humanity. Okay? That's the central message of this. Without vice, there can be no virtue. And to have one virtue itself is not enough. You must be constantly in a battle to create more and more virtue. Okay? So if you are a man of sin or a woman of evil, be thankful, because now is your opportunity to be a star, a sun that through transformation of oneself can brighten the world, okay? And when you do that, you transform the world. And then after you do that, your next battle is to go and transform someone else, or to look deeper and discover the evil in you, okay? So don't worry about the world itself. Just worry about you yourself, because within yourself is a universe of evil that can be transformed into a universe of good. So one really important thing I have to say is that this is not Buddhism, okay? The structure and the framework are very similar, but what Zoroastrianism fundamentally says is that compassion is not enough, okay? You have to act, because justice is about action. If you see injustice, you must speak out. You can't be like, oh, I'm indifferent because I'm compassionate. Okay? That's not enough. You have to act out. And that's why people who believe in this religion were so creative, okay? Because they believe in action. Being indifferent is simply it's basically being complicit in the system, all right? All right. Ye tell me, life is hard to bear, but for what purpose shall you have your pride in the morning and your resignation in the evening? Life is hard to bear, but don't affect to be so delicate. We are all of us fine sumpter asses and she asses, okay? What we have in common with a rosebud, which trembleth because a drop of dew hath formed upon it. It is true that we love life, not because we are wont to live, but because we are wont to love. Love is Asha, right? Always want to achieve Asha. There is always some madness in love, but there's always also some method in madness. And to me also, who appreciate life, the butterflies and soap bubbles and whatever is like them amongst us, seem most to enjoy happiness. To see those light, foolish, pretty, lively little sprites flit about, that moves Zarathustra to tears and songs. I should only believe in a God that would know how to dance. And when I saw my devil, I found him serious, thorough, profound, solemn. He was a spirit of gravity. Through him, all things fail. Okay, so what Nietzsche hates is organized religion. Because organized religion, it is very serious, very somber. It basically wants to enslave us, right? It's like, don't do anything bad, don't drink, don't smoke, don't have sex, or you'll burn in hell, okay? That's very serious. And what Zarathustra and what Nietzsche is saying is that that's not what Asha is, man. Asha is to recognize that the world is beautiful, that our master is all merciful, all forgiving, all love, all compassion. And you must delight in the world because that's why he created us, okay? So the only way to survive this world of evil is to recognize that beauty is everywhere around us. And there's our responsibility to discover this beauty and to celebrate this beauty, okay? Dance, sing, make love, laugh, smile. That's what life is about, okay? If a priest is telling you, hey, meditate for your life because only through that will you avoid sin, he's a devil, man. Okay? Because he's denying you your free will. He's denying you your capacity to love, to seek after yourself. Okay? But one day will the solitude weary thee, one day will thy pride yield and thy courage quail, though one day cry, I'm alone. One day will those see no longer thy loftiness and see too closely thy lowliness. Thus solemnity itself will frighten thee as a phantom. Thou will one day cry, all was false. So life is a constant struggle, okay, between hope and tragedy. There are some days when you will be very hopeful, but then some days when you'll be very depressed. That's just the process of life. And that's just a process of wisdom, okay?